What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my page, Money Making Juggernaut. I'm your host, Eric Richardson. Today, we have a great video in store. I am here with Jeff and DeAndre. We are going to present a unique opportunity to make money in real estate. Now, as you guys know, the niche that I talk about in real estate is very unique, but what we're going to present to you guys today, you can literally get started with no money down. It's a way to actually be very profitable in real estate. And I am here with two specialists that are going to reveal the sauces that you guys can use and actually get started today. So before we get into this video, go grab a notebook, go grab a pen, take some notes because some gems are going to be dropped. Jeff and DeAndre, go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourselves and what you guys do.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Jeff Alisador. I'm a 27-year-old real estate investor, land investor. We're based out in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And what we do, we flip vacant land to home builders full time.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. My name is DeAndre. I'm 27 years old. Wholesale vacant lots, infill lots, acreage to builders and developers all throughout Florida, Texas, and other states as well.
Perfect. So for those of you who don't know, a vacant lot, this is just a piece of land that doesn't have any property on it yet, right? No home is on that vacant land.
Man, it's just dirt, Eric. Literally, man, all we're doing is just, getting these properties under contract, right? And we're literally just assigning our interest over to a person who may want to buy their, first property, or, a home builder who's looking for lots in the area that wants to build on these homes.
So people, when they typically think of wholesaling, which is what you guys are doing, getting that contract and assigning it for a higher rate, they think of it with homes, all right, homes or maybe commercial buildings. And there's been a lot of individuals moving over to that space, which causes more saturation. So with this aspect, how is the market right now? If somebody's looking to get into it, do they need to worry about saturation and a lot of competition in this?
No, they don't have to worry about any saturation of competition. There's still, I reach out to sellers every day, right? And I'm the first person to get in contact with some of these sellers. I was shocked because when I first started, I was doing houses. And then when I converted over to land, doing straight infill lots, these sellers are like, oh, well, you're the first one to contact me, or you're the second. Even if you're the first, second, you're still in good. Because when it was coming to the houses, I was the sixth, seventh, eighth, maybe the 15th person. So saturation, not really. Competition, very low or very minimal, to say the least.
Okay, great. Now that was for those of you who have the scarce mindset, because I know most of you viewers have the abundance mindset and we don't care about any type of competition or saturation. So for those of you who were skeptical, we already nipped that in the bud. What are some other great things about this?
Man, some great things about wholesaling land, like DeAndre said, little to no competition, Eric. And what I love about it, sometimes, these deals kind of just fall in our lap, right? We'll market and text blast to these landowners. And sometimes, dude, they'll just give us the price that they're looking for, right? Sometimes we don't even need to negotiate, dude. It's like they give us the number that they want, and we already have somebody who's willing to pay 5, 10, even $20,000 more for that property. So sometimes, dude, we don't even need to negotiate. It's just like, yo, this person wants this price. Okay, let me see if my buyer can pay, a little bit more.
And I will also say, is that it's really it's really unique because with houses, you really need some type of motivation, right? You need some type of, oh, I'm ready to go now. With land, these sellers are really not that truly motivated. You don't, well, not they're not motivated. You don't really need that motivation. Like they're not itching to get up out of their vacant land. Like a lot of the sellers that we deal with when we market to them, it's kind of like the land is there. There's no emotional attachment. It's like, okay, well, I'll sell it if you give me a good price. If I like your offer, I'll sell it. If not, then I won't. So a lot of sellers that I've done, I've wholesaled their lots, they weren't like, yeah, I need to sell today or I'm going to get foreclosed on, because most of these vacant lots are free and clear, no mortgage, no liens, nothing like that. So that, because when they always teach in the real estate industry, you need a motivated seller. Well, for land, you don't really truly need a motivated seller. You just need someone that's open to an offer that maybe that owned the lot for a few years. So that's another unique thing as well.
Yeah, so the numbers just need to make sense.
That's it. And it's very simple, Eric. And I love it because these sellers, they don't have an emotional attachment to that piece of dirt. You know what I mean? And most of the sellers that we market to, they live in California or they live in Texas or Idaho. literally outside, like 10,000 miles away from their property that they've never seen before. And, you know, they get a text message from me and DeAndre, hey, we want to buy your piece of property. Like, oh, wow, nobody has, you know, ever contacted
Contacting
me
me about this. Yeah.
about this property. Hey, I mean, how much are you willing to give me for this property? And
Hmm.
dude, right then and there, you know, we make an offer, and you know, if they like it, they're ready to sign right then and there, bro.
Yeah.
It's
Now this sounds very attractive. And I know, guys, for all of you that are watching, I've seen this firsthand. Jeff and DeAndre not only are closing multiple deals, it was to the point where Jeff was closing deals in my backyard in Lee County. I'm seeing him close stuff Fort Myers, Cape Coral. And I'm like, what is going on? You're getting all these checks from my county. What's going on? I had to find out. Now I understand what's going on. They even have a community where they're teaching others and people are making a killing. Like, guys, this is something that is very attractive and you guys should definitely adhere to it and learn about it. So now, guys, let's just go ahead and break everything down to them as if they had no idea about real estate, no idea about flipping land, anything. Can you guys go ahead and break down the process, how it works? What is the average price range that they might see, the type of work that they need to put in, just for full transparency?
Yeah, so just a step by step, kind of like a breakdown, make it real simple. So we need landowners. That's number one. We need landowners, and then you basically market those landowners, and we primarily text them. That's what's unique as well. Like you really don't have to truly speak on the phone with these sellers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We've done deals. We made offers through text. We got contracts signed through text. And then we sell it all through text. Like all this happens all through text messages. And when I say that, people don't believe me, but I show them, it's like, oh wow, this is real. So we find that landowner, you get them at, let's just say, you know, they want 30,000, you offer them 25, y'all come to an agreement at 27,000. And then now you just go out and you find a building company that's been building homes in the area, or a land buyer, somebody in that same vicinity was buying land, or building a house, one or the other, and then you reach out to them. Then you say, hey, I have this vacant lot for 27, or you just say, I have this lot. I'm asking 40,000 for it, something like that, and then they'll come back and say, I could do 37 or whatever the offer is, and just like that, you get the contract with the seller, you get the contract with the buyer, and you made $10,000 just that easy in that specific area that you're targeting land in.
Exactly. And that's crazy that you can do all of this through text, because through my field, you can text and you can send mailers, but primarily we have to get on the phone to accurately explain and convince people. So the fact that you guys can do this through text, that is a game changer right there. And I've even seen wholesaling properties, like a lot of people are calling. The fact that you guys are killing the game through text message is crazy. Like that's amazing. And also you can automate a lot of text messages, right?
Of course, yeah. So, you know, all of our leads, you know, we put all of our leads in something that's called a CRM, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Where you leave all your leads in there. And basically what the CRM does, you know, it literally it automatically text blasts to the area that we pulled these leads from. And you know, wholesaling is a numbers game, Eric, right? You have to put in the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is not easy. It is easy. It's very simple.
It's simple. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's very simple, but you have to put in the work, right? It's
Yep.
a numbers game. So, you know, compared to me and DeAndre, who, you know, we're sending out 1,000, 2,000 text messages a day,
Mm-hmm.
right? And, you know, the results that we're getting, we're probably racking up 20 deals a month,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because of that type of volume. But when you first start off, of course, you know, you want to get used to, you know, picking up the phone and getting rid of that fear of just speaking on the phone to a seller, because eventually, you know, you're going to have to get on the phone, of course.
And talk to them. Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you're going to have to talk to them. But, you know, just starting out, you know, if these guys are literally putting in, I want to say at least 3 to 4 hours a day, basically, you know, just picking up the phone and literally talking, and probably talking to 50 people a day, making 10, 20 offers a day. Dude, I mean, a deal is liable. They're liable to get a deal under contract and literally no more than 30 days. I promise you, especially if they're consistent on doing it and literally reaching out every single day, picking up that phone, whether it's texting or cold calling, right? They will land a deal, because just like me and DeAndre always preach, I mean, dude, we're always like the second or first person to get in contact with.
To get in contact. Okay.
Yeah,
So the first step is to locate a property that you can negotiate with somebody who can buy it. So where can you actually find these properties? Are you guys getting stuff on market, off market? How are you guys getting these properties that you can get under contract for such a low amount?
So we like the off market method. You can get on or off, but we like off market because when it's on the market, everyone's making offers, a listing agent, stuff like that. So you can get them from PropStream, you can get them from DataTree, you can get them from the property appraiser website.
Yeah.
All these vacant lots are on its public record. If you literally go to any county website and you turn on the aerial map, you can literally just, oh, that's a vacant lot, that's a vacant lot. Like, and then all you gotta do is get the seller, the person who owns it, get their name, you get their mailing address, and then you put it into like True People Search,
Your
or you
skip
put it.
tracing sites. Yeah, a lot of my viewers are familiar with that. Yeah.
So you skip trace them, whether paid or unpaid. I've used both. And then once you get in contact with them, you start talking to them. You ask, hey, your vacant lot, and then you just you ask them questions. You can do it by text or phone call. I like text, but you can ask them those questions like, what were your intentions with the lot? Yeah, I bought the lot. I was going to move down there. It didn't end up happening. Things of that nature. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, so finding the properties doesn't seem like a hurdle at all. Now, how about finding the buyers, the actual home builders? How is that?
I mean, it's a very simple process, Eric. I mean, like DeAndre said, everything is really on the internet, right? And how we find these builders, right? We like to go on Google. Let's say, for instance, right, Eric, as I was wholesaling in your backyard in Fort Myers, right, all I was doing was typing on the search bar on Google, Fort Myers home builders, right? And then a list of just people who build homes in Fort Myers, right? Their company name popped up, their phone number popped up, and it's all right there at the touch of our button, right? And what I was doing, how to get these guys and to see if they're actually interested in buying lots, right? I would literally cold call each building company to see if they were in the market to buy. And it was very simple because majority of these guys were in the market to buy. That's what they do. They buy lots and build homes, right? So it was very easy to get these builders. And that was the least of our worries. I'm gonna be honest. The hardest part about doing all of this is honestly staying consistent.
Yep. Sure.
Staying consistent. I like that because it's a numbers game. I mean, with anything in business, primarily with real estate, it's definitely a numbers game. And then when you have a deal, you need to definitely close. Same thing with surplus funds. We're making calls. We might call 1,000 leads. We might get 30 people on the phone that week. Out of that 30 people, we need to be closing so we can get a deal done. Same thing with this. When it comes to actually closing them, is that something that is difficult? Is there like any sort of like jargon that we need to understand? I know you guys do like research on the lots before you actually get it. You're asking them very important questions like I know you guys do like a land survey, you're checking to see about the utilities, you're making sure the code enforcement's everything together. What are some factors that they need to understand before they actually get a deal? Because we don't want people just going out getting any type of land and then boom, they can't actually assign that contract.
So the most common things that you need to see or the criteria is flood zones, right? A lot of the buyers that you're dealing with, they don't like to build in flood zones, okay? There are some that do, but like I say 95% don't. So we stay away from flood zones. Also, stay away from landlocked properties. So landlocked property are properties that don't have no road access. So you can't get access to the property. You have to go through someone else's property to get access to it, right? That's a no-no, right? Because it gets complicated with easements and access and things of that nature. Also wetlands. All right. So those are the main three things you check for: flood zones, road access, and wetlands. So wetlands are kind of like flood zones, a little bit, but with wetlands, it's actually it's so wet that you can't really build on the land.
Yeah.
So with flood zones, you can build in a flood zone, but builders don't like that because it increases your insurance costs once you build a home. So everybody gets home insurance, but if you're in a flood zone, now you got to get flood insurance. Now you have two insurances on this house. Now that home that they're looking to sell, they can't sell it at the price that they want, so they got to sell it a little bit cheaper to account for those flood zone payments. So flood zones, a house can be built. Wetlands, the house can't be built at all. The city will completely deny you when you pull your permits. So those are three things that we look for.
Yeah, those are the don'ts of the business, right? Those are the don'ts. But what you want to look for, right, when you're first starting off, you want to look for these infill lots that are next to houses, right? We like to go after these neighborhoods where we're seeing new houses getting put up, right? Where there's empty vacant lots all around these houses, right? So the reason why, because it just makes it more valuable, makes the property more valuable. And a lot of builders like to see those type of activities going on in the neighborhood where it's like, hey, okay, these two builders just put up a house down the street. Okay, I know like if I put a house right here, it's gonna sell or it's gonna rent.
Right.
So those are the things you always want to look for when starting off, is those neighborhoods where there's a lot of activity going on.
That's good. So you guys have a criteria for successful deals. Now, typically on my channel, I'm always teaching systems and just basically, like you said, consistency. So if you get your system set up and you stay consistent, you're gonna have success. So that's good that you guys have the criteria. When it comes to having your tools for this business, what would you need? I know you're gonna need to, of course, come legit. So you're gonna have to establish a company. Do you recommend that they get their LLC set up beforehand, or can they do this just in their direct name before they actually start a business?
So we recommend someone start an LLC if they can, if they have the funds to do so. But if they can't, then it's no excuse. Like it's like I can't afford to get an LLC. Okay, great. You could start with just your name, and then once you do your first deal, then you can pay for LLC, which, and you're not sure what state you're in, but it's going to be between maybe 125 to $300. That's
exactly. And then what about a website? Do you need any type of website to come off legitimate or anything?
No, you don't need no website. No one asked about a website. Buyers, sellers, no, you don't need a website.
Perfect.
No.
Good.
Yeah.
And then what about your systems? Is there like a paid CRM, or is there any type of lead generators that'll make the business a lot simpler?
Yeah, so the CRM that we use, it does make the sales process a lot more simpler because it keeps everything in front of you. You don't need a CRM to start. If you think you need a CRM to start, then that's not, because we started with Excel sheets. We started with using Excel sheets. We had a free version of Podio. Like Podio is the type of CRM, right? But it's free and you can set the way you want. And then once you start closing deals, then you can get the CRMs and all the tools. But if you're looking to say, man, I can't start because I don't have a CRM, then you're making an excuse. We started Excel sheets. We started, texting people from like Google Voice. Everybody knows what Google Voice is, right? Create a Google Voice business number. We were texting people like Google Voice and putting everybody on Excel sheets and coloring them and highlighting them on the sheets. So, but after you do some deals, then we highly recommend getting the CRM. And then good, paid skip tracing that'll help you get to where you want to get to faster, do a lot more value.
Awesome. Now, when it comes to time in this business, how much time per day do they actually have to commit and put in?
I mean, first, when you're first starting off, honestly, Eric, I mean, when me and Dre first started doing this, we both had a 9 to 5. I was working part-time, Dre was working part-time. And I kid you not, Eric, we were probably putting in 3 to 4, sometimes 5 hours a day. Yeah. We were like, the thing with that, we were literally locked in, just literally picking up the phone.
Yep.
Hungry, dude. Yeah. And a lot of people's 3 hours or 4 hours, sometimes they're just scrolling through TikTok or Instagram to get distracted. I mean, dude, like you're putting your head down for a really good 3 hours, solid 3 to 4 hours of just, picking up the phone and dialing and making offers. I mean, dog, the sky's the limit. It all comes down to, the work you put in at the end of the day.
Exactly. I like that. So my viewers know that I'm not with any type of get rich quick schemes, but just for transparency. Yeah, no, just for transparency. Once you have a deal under contract, you have your buyer ready to go, how fast can we get paid out? What's the closing process like? Because I know at homes, it's like 30 days, sometimes it could be a lot faster. What's that time frame on payouts?
So I'll say the average is between, I'm going to say 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Is what I'm seeing, because you can have a buyer that needs 30 days, which 30 days is pretty average. But then we also have buyers that are closing as soon as title comes back. So if title comes back in a week and everything's clear, It can be a week. It can be a week. It can be 2 weeks. So I'll say average 2 to 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how is the contracting? Because you guys have a title company, the closing company that comes in, and now there's three parties instead of two. So how does that paperwork work? Is it difficult? Is it something easy to understand? How does that work?
It's pretty simple. We have a 3-page contract that we use that we send to the sellers that they sign with. It's very like we made it to the point where like a fifth grader can read it. Like if you just read the basic words and go through it, it's pretty simple, and it's only 3 pages, right? And then with the buyer, we have the assignment of contract. It's 1 page, and it's very crystal clear. Then you get those 2 documents once they're both signed. You send them to the title company, and then the title company takes over from there. They deal with the buyer, they deal with the seller, and then they take over and they ask all the necessary questions. They get the buyer the wiring instructions to send the deposit and stuff, and then they get the seller's information to get a copy of the driver's license. Start doing that. So all you're doing is basically just managing it and making sure everything is going according to plan.
And the reason why, my fault, Eric, don't mean to cut you off. And the reason why, it's so simple, right? And the reason why we always say, hey, you don't need any money. You don't need any money, Eric. So let's say, for instance, right, we get under contract with a seller at like 15,000, and out of a sudden, sorry about that, they want probably 5K down, right? They probably, because when you get these lots under contract, of course, the seller, they want to deposit for good faith.
They want the
right?
earnest money. Yeah, earnest
They want
money.
the earnest money. And it's always up to you, right? Sometimes it don't matter. You can put $100 down. You can put $500 down. It's all up to you, right, on how much you want to put down. But you're, of course, sometimes you're going to run into sellers that are like, hey, I at least want $1,000 down for good faith, right? Okay, no problem. So the reason why we love it and it's no money down is because, hey, we'll put $1,000 down on the contract between us and the seller, right? But on the other contract, which is the assignment contract between us and the buyer, we'll put that same $1,000 down, or hey, sometimes we'll even put $2,000 down just in case a buyer backs out, right? So that way, hey, the seller gets the $1,000 and we get paid as well. That's the worst case scenario. That's if a buyer backs out to protect yourself. But at the end of the day, right? Let's say, for instance, hey, we got a contract for 15,000 with $1,000 down. All we're doing is telling the buyer to put $1,000 down and send it to the title company. Yeah. We're not using none of our own money to make money.
Yeah, so in essence, the buyer is putting down the deposit.
Yeah.
So you don't have to actually put down the 500 or the 1,000. The buyer does everything for you. So now you got to deal on the contract, and then you don't even have to put no money down. So in the next 2 to 4 weeks, you walk away with a check, whatever your assignment fee is, and no down payment, no nothing.
So you guys are getting basically a purchase agreement between yourself and the seller, but it's having the right to assign, right? On that contract, you guys are saying we have the right to assign the contract. Then you actually have the assignment form. And on that assignment form, you guys have your fee for this that it outlines. But then when it goes to the closing company, they already see, okay, this is their assignment fee. And then you guys get wired at once the transaction is done.
Yeah, wire a check, whatever you like.
Perfect. Okay. All right, guys. For those of you who are watching, they broke this down so simple. We understand all the aspects. We understand that we definitely need to be putting in work. What are some numbers just for clarity? What from a low end to a high end? How much are they looking at if they actually apply themselves? Because people on my channel, they're going to apply themselves. We're not looking to be lazy at all. We're looking to work hard. 30 days into it, head down, going full speed into this business. What's something realistic that they can actually do?
So the assignment fee is it's a really huge range. We've done deals where we've made $65,000, right? And then we've had deals where we've made $2,000. So I say for your followers or anyone who's watching, your first assignment fee can be anything between $2,000 and $65,000. It could be maybe even a little higher or maybe slightly a little bit lower, but that's the general range that you're going to be in.
Perfect. I mean, that sounds good. And it's like the same thing with surplus funds. You get a deal, you might make a couple $100. You might make, life-changing money on your first deal. So I love it, guys. Thanks for the transparency. For protection, if somebody gets something under contract and let's say they don't find a seller or the inspection comes back wrong, is there a way that they can actually pull out of that deal and not have to actually purchase that property?
Yeah, so every contract has an inspection period. It's built into the contract. We like to do 21 to 30-day inspection periods. That's automatically on there, like without a doubt. And we always let the sellers know we got to get the surveys, we got to get all these reports, environmental studies. But the buyer is the one that's doing all that stuff. So let's say the land or something doesn't check out. The buyer is going to say, hey, this land is condemned, or whatever the problem is. This land is unbuildable. We can't build the house on it. The city won't allow something like that. All you have to do is, and now you just have to inform the seller, say, hey, this land can't be built on because X, Y, and Z, and you send them a cancellation of the contract. And then once you get the cancellation of the contract, you're good. You just have to do it within the 21 to 30 days of that inspection period. And guess what? You didn't lose anything. No. If anything, you took a shot. You gave yourself a chance to make some money, to change a life, to provide a service to someone, and then you cancel it, and then you move on to the next deal.
So your risk for getting in this business is low because you're not putting up capital. You're not really, risking anything with any investments. You're just putting in work. And that's what I love, guys. So for those of you who are watching, we understand the basics, not everything. Now, of course, you could go over to Google and go over to YouTube University and try to watch videos on flipping land contracts, wholesaling, things like that. But what Jeff and DeAndre have is they actually have a community where they're working with all of the students and helping them get deals. They're sharing all the gems, all the knowledge that they have. These are guys that have experience, that are, I'm telling you, that are closing deals to the rate where I'm looking like, this is ridiculous. I need to figure out what they're doing. And that's why I brought them on the page to share with you guys so you guys can take advantage of it. So Jeff and DeAndre, what is the monthly membership? How can they learn more? How can they actually go far? Because we can go a certain point through Google and YouTube University, but we can go much further with somebody who has experience and actually can teach the correct way to do this the first time.
So the land group it's $149.99 a month, right? So basically $150 a month, right? And we do live Zoom calls 2 to 3 times a month, right? Consistently. And then what's the best part is, though, you have our unlimited support. Like some other people out here who are teaching, right? They don't give you the cell phone number, right? You have my personal cell phone number. You have Jeff's personal cell phone number. You can call or text us anytime, ask questions or whatever. And then we also do personal one-on-one Zoom calls as well with our students. So if there's a fork in the road, if there's an issue going on, you have questions, we'll get on the call with you. We'll help you. We'll walk you through it, whatever we have to do. And then we also have other people in the community that have done deals already. So they can even, pair up with other students who's already done deals, right? And then it's not just like when you pay for a course one time and then now you're stuck, right? You have our ongoing continuous support, and we hold your hand through your first deal, through multiple deals, and everything you need, we're right there. We're right there for you.
Yeah, and we also make money with our students, right? Yeah. We put them in areas to be successful, all right? We give them markets that we're doing deals in, right? So they can go out there and get their first deal. I kid you not, Eric, we have a 19-year-old student. She's all the way up in Dallas closing deals, and she's already made her first 10K a month, literally just first 30 days joining the group. So she made her money back times like 5. So it's
Exactly. That's amazing. So if you guys are ready to take action, make sure you guys get with them. I'm going to put all of their information in the description, the links, their contact information. And if you guys need to rewatch this, take some notes, make sure you guys do that. I'm also going to put their social media, so check them out. Thanks for watching.